center, line up the way, so 1306.
Southwest 1436, flight heading 110, contact question.
Tower Southwest 46 is over Cisco for 4 right.
Southwest 486, Midway Tower, traffic is going to depart runway 31 center, wind 340 at 6, runway 4 right, Berlin.
Clear to land 4 right, Southwest 46.
Southwest 3353, flight heading of 130, contact approach.
Southwest 3353, good day.
Southwest 1306, runway 31 center, turn right, heading 110, clear for takeoff.
Right turn, heading 110, 31 center, clear for takeoff, south 1306.
Exit 651, make the 180 on the runway, back taxi on my frequency, stand by for more.
Okay, 180 on the runway, and wait for you, just a good one.
Delta 1648, Midway Tower, traffic's going land, runway 4 right, runway 31 center, line up and wait.
5 wait, 31 center, level 1648.
Exit 651, cross runway 31 right, hold short of runway 31 center.
Cross 31 right, hold short 31 center, 651.
Exit 928, release time is at 51 after the hour time out. Charlie, traffic is going to be at 3,000 feet above you off your departure and turn right heading turn right heading 090 and maintain 2,000 on my frequency for pickup.
What subversion is the process which is called demoralization.
Southwest 3324, say out
It takes from
Southwest 3324 is out of
to
2003.
20 years to demoralize a society. This is the time sufficient to educate one
130
generation
heading maintain 3, call departure south.
to shaping up the outlook, ideology, personality, influencing of various areas where public opinion is formulated or shaped. Religion, educational system, social life, administration, the law enforcement system, military, and labor and employer relations. In case of religion, destroy it, ridicule it, replace it with faith, whether it is naive, primitive, doesn't really matter. As long as the basically accepted religious dogma is being slowly eroded and taken away from the supreme purpose of religion, to keep people in touch with the supreme being, that serves the purpose. Distract people attention from the real faith and attract them to various different things. Education. Distract them from learning something which is constructive, pragmatic, efficient. Instead of mathematics, physics, foreign languages, chemistry, teach them anything, as long as it takes you away from the natural links, away from the natural links, as long as it takes you away from the natural instead of social life and friendship between neighbors, establish social workers, the people who are on payroll of doing society? No, bureaucracy. The main concern of social workers is not your family, not you.
Switchers 927, contact departure on 118.4. Have a great day.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? About to get going here. Thank you very much for joining. We will get started here in a moment. Flying out of Brussels, Belgium. On our way to Switzerland? What's over in Switzerland? Yes, yes, you're flying nickstream. It's a pleasure having you all here, Nickers and Nickerettes. Welcome aboard the nickstream. This is your captain speaking, the anchor, baby. Welcome to another Friday afternoon nickstream. Flying out of Brussels, Belgium, on our way to the Davos Congress Center in the Swiss Alps. Maybe we can catch the last bit of that meeting. Maybe we can show them a little bit of... we can do a little convincing with a couple tons of metal. You know what I'm saying? By tons of metal, I mean our words, our convincing words, right? Our words. 'Cause that's what, you know. Yes, on our way up to our cruising altitude of 36,000 feet today. It is a pleasure having you all here. Welcome. You are watching nickstream. About to get it going. Well, we're going now, really. And, you know, as soon as we get up there, we'll be turning off the seatbelt sign and turning on the I'm laughing at chat. Someone's starting something in the chat. We're going to be turning on the calls. You'll see the screen. You'll see the number on the screen shortly. So we got some in-flight entertainment. We got a couple things to deal with. There's some drama in the conservative world today. You may have heard a little bit about our Crowder, Ben Shapiro, who owes Jesse a lunch or a dinner. They had a bet, and Ben Shapiro hasn't paid up. Like I said, on our way to Switzerland, Davos Convention Center. On what else we got for in-flight entertainment? Well, we're going to deal with a little bit of where, you know, the topic of where we're going. We're going to the World Economic Forum in Davos. That is where we are flying towards. And we got some fun, you know, we got some stuff to deal with the men, okay? Hopefully we can get to that too. All that and your calls on nickstream. Kick back, relax, and enjoy. And thank you for flying nickstream. We're pretty much up to our cruising altitude here, so that means you can call in. Yes, seatbelt sign is off. The number's on the screen. 7605153855. If you want to call in, get off your chest about whatever you want to call in about. So go ahead, call in, get it off your chest, whatever it is you want to say. Just jump in. Besides that, let me turn down these plane sounds so they're not so loud. And you should be hearing me and everything. Welcome. It's a pleasure, guys. Hey, what's up? Sion, you working? What's up, Big Bump? Madi Ubaldo Digitus, the magnanimous Noah's Ark, Kansas. We got TSA on board. Wait, what do they call the agents, the police that are on every plane? Lord Bibby. He's that. And all mods. JS, Doom Jesus, what's up? Troy. Hey. And can I get an N in the chat? Red Dirt Farm, Stephen Wild. Pleasure. Yes, Maria Gabriel, we're getting going. Lolo. Awesome stuff. Hate speech. Already got a call. We're going to get right to that here, in fact. But hold on here. Before we get to our caller, if you could just hold on for me there. Appreciate you calling in. I want to deal with these first class tickets that have been purchased already. I do want to welcome them. Please come on down. Enjoy your first class. As you know, it's unlimited drinkies and snackies in first class. So, Based America First, please. Says, a hacker published a U.S. no-fly list. I checked not on it before boarding the plane. Rumor has it that the Supreme Court leaker is also in first class. Well, good thing we have that person on. Please subdue him. Welcome, Based America First. Thank you so much for the support. Please enjoy your first class seat. Lord Bibby says, Orange Fanta and Uno. Get the man some Orange Fanta and sit on down on your first class seat. Kick back and relax. Appreciate you all for your support. Seriously. Very, very cool. Welcome. Is it Triple H? Is that another triple letter person that I may recognize? That's cool, man. If you're new, welcome. If you're Triple T, become Triple H, that's cool too. Let's speed on up to our final speed here up in the air. The flat air, the flat or the globe air, the flat earth, or the. You think Microsoft Flight Simulator adds? It looks a bit like a bit of a curve. You think Flight Simulator adds that, or can we trust it? Nice. Okay, guys. Well, like I said, we got a couple things to deal with. I'm the hostess with Nick's flight now. Very cool. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got a couple things to deal with, and as you may have heard, there is some mess going on with the conservative world, but I don't want to forget about my caller here. I do appreciate you calling in. Your name and where are you calling from?
What's up, Nick? This is Zeus from Florida.
Zeus, Florida. Thanks for calling, man. Go ahead.
I just wanted to kind of talk about the conservative drama stuff.
Oh, cool.
I feel like I feel like the Daily Wire is on the bad guys' team, to be honest.
Okay.
I feel like they're, for lack of better words, I feel like they're part of the Matrix. They're part of those elites that are running it, and the elites have people on both sides, liberals, conservatives, and on the conservatives, I feel like they run that at the Daily Wire. They don't run it, but they tell them what to do.
Awesome. Okay, Zeus. Well, just for our viewers here, so I can do a little bit of this story here, because I do want to respond to you, and I do appreciate your call here. Just if you could just hold on for me there. What Zeus is talking about there, and I alluded to this, you may have heard Crowder, Louder with Crowder, conservative YouTuber, very large following, very popular. It recently came out calling out the big tech shilling of other, big conservatives, and it came out that he was talking about specifically Daily Wire. He mentioned Big Con. He's calling it Big Con, what we're used to calling as what do you call it? Rhinos, Con Inc. You may have heard that. Big fakers, basically. And so that's what's going on. He called out their involvement with big tech, specifically a contract that he was offered. In this contract, one thing that was mentioned was that should Crowder sign the contract with the Daily Wire, he would be subject to a penalty to his earnings should he be boycotted, should he be demonetized on YouTube or banned on any of the big platforms. Effectively doing the work for big tech, this conservative outlet, Daily Wire, would be doing the work for them and censoring Crowder. There's a couple things I want to say about that. Right out the gate, though, just give you I'm on the side of Crowder, really. I support what he's doing. There's some things I want to say about that, but I wanted to give you that. I want to give you guys, the audience, at least that, so you know where I'm coming from. And I want to be clear about a couple things. So hopefully you're following, and I want to get into this story. But Zeus, I had you muted there. Go ahead. You were saying that we have enemies on both sides, basically.
I just feel like if you look at everything, in the whole. Like, look at Ben Shapiro. He was a never Trumper, and then Trump wins, and now he's cool with them. And then as soon as Trump and DeSantis are going at it, whose side is he on? He's on DeSantis. And even like look at Candace Owens. She went over there and spread like this like gossip about Trump and got some of the conservatives, and it's the conservative blacks that kind of turn against him because he's going at Candace Owens. And then
and I'm aware of a couple of things you said. And I think most people are, but this last one you said about some gossip about Trump. What was Candace saying? I don't recall this.
I think you guys covered it a tiny bit when it happened. It was like a few months ago, and basically, I guess she said that Trump got mad at her, and like with no receipts, she just kind of said that. Yeah. And so that's kind of like where the infighting started, and then the DeSantis thing. So I feel like what they're trying to do is kind of turn conservatives against each other because divided, it's easier to conquer the people when they're divided. You know, united we stand, divided we fall. And so I feel like that's why they play that role.
Okay.
From the elites, you know, they come, hey, do this to kind of split up the base.
Okay, so I gotta say that there's definitely division going on, and there's definitely fear and even some shilling going on both sides. We're talking about conservatives today. And so, but you know, I wanted to ask you a couple of things here. Out of being measured, would you say, number one, I want to ask you, you're saying they use the elites to break us up.
The elites use
Help me understand how you know this, because there's one thing I want to do. There's one thing I want to do this year, is and I love conspiracies. I love conspiracy theorists. You could call in about any topic. I love it all. Usually you guys are right, but I don't want to do confirmation bias. I don't want to do conspiratorial mindset this year. I want reality.
Yeah. Well, I don't have like exact proof. Like I wasn't there, and you know what I mean. I'm just going off what I see.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I'm seeing it. You know what I mean? Like when I'm putting all the dots together, as like the conspiracy theorist with like the board with all the notes and the strings connecting. This is what my board is saying. I don't really have a board. I'm just using it as a metaphor. And so because I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm not really a conservative. Like I'm not a conservative per se. Like super conservative. I just agree with the values. I'm more middle. I agree with values on the conservative side, and there's a couple things like maybe on the left side that I might agree with. So I'm not really on either side. I'm just kind of the observer from the outside, and this is what I observe.
Fair enough.
Would you say I'm American? Like I'm on America's side, and I see all this division, and what I see is someone's trying to create the downfall of America, and this is how they do it. I don't have proof, but that's just how I feel.
Big time. And no, I mostly agree with what you're saying. We definitely have enemies, and even a fearful, weak person who is, in a sense, an enemy. What do you really stand for? And that's what we're going to deal with today. What are people really about, and what are they really standing for? Because their actions speak louder than their words. Zeus, great call, man. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, if I can, I think the way we beat this, the way we save America is men need to be men. It's like what Jesse says, and you know, he said something this week that really stuck out to me. Mm-hmm. He says even a weak beta male, they hate because they know in that weak beta male is a man. And I feel like the weak beta male, regular, all of us, if we became men and took that leadership, that's how we beat them.
Big time.
You know, sides. Like you're left or right, all that stuff besides the point right there. It's all about saving America, whether you're left or right. That's how I feel. It's just the left is so unreasonable. It's hard to agree with anything they say.
Thank you for that, Zeus. Yes, I agree. That's great.
But I appreciate your time, Nick.
Always.
Shout out to everybody listening. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Moving the wheels, Zeus. Thank you so much. Yes, so true. And what's going to save, and just going off of what he's saying about, you know, Jesse, JLP. I'm on his network. I'm very grateful. Jesse's so right about anger, right? He says you're not a conservative if you have anger. You're basically a liberal. You may have heard him say that. And it's really the attitude and that way of being, the truthful, loving, pure love way of being that really changes, I think, you know, the world around you, you know, first locally kind of a little bit, and then maybe even beyond. And what I mean by that is, yeah, you can have the right opinion about this or that thing, but your energy, the way you behave if it's truly manly, I think that's way more powerful. That's why I love what Trump did, you know? Trump really woke up a lot of people to just being truthful and listening and having love. We're going to get into a couple things here, and I thank Zeus for the call and opening up this topic here. Like I was saying, Louder with Crowder, Steven Crowder, he's got a he's had a pretty good show for many years now. He's gained a large following on YouTube, and you know, I've said this before on Jesse's show. I like Crowder, right? I like his work. I liked his work. I've said this before and been crucified in the chat. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I've been crucified by it for it. He's always been, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. He's been, you know, somewhat, you know, mostly honest, and I never really got shill vibes. I don't know. It's just my opinion. You know, and certain moments over the years have showed me that. And, you know, I've always liked him in his lane, whatever he's doing. No judgment, right? He doesn't have to be talking about all the things I want him to talk about. And he's pretty emotional and pretty weak on like racism and stuff. You know, he's just a big emotional kind of like Christian softy, raised in like the RhinoCon world of where America is a marketplace of ideas. And, you know, I don't judge him for that. You know, I think he's done good work. And the same, I'd say the same for Ben Shapiro. How many of us started, started learning about politics and became a conservative? How many of us went through Ben Shapiro, watching his videos and waking up to pretty basic stuff, right? He doesn't say anything groundbreaking when you really look at it, but it was groundbreaking to me, to a person who's never really heard that, never raised like that, right? And there's so many people like me. It's pretty basic conservative stuff, abortion and all that. So, and he says it in such a fast and smart way that I guess it might light the imaginations of some people. So it's not, I don't find it quite special. He's very smart, but that's pretty good work. I find that some good work he's done. But what is Daily Wire about? What is Shapiro about? And so let me reiterate what has happened. Crowder went online and basically he put out a video calling out. He said he didn't name any names. He was very measured in his first video. Very measured. Didn't say who, and called out conservatives in bed with big tech. And big tech, the big social media platforms, Facebook, all that, have been they've been censoring. You know about the censorship, right? And the censoring is quite pernicious in the fact that it's targeted. It's targeted to conservatives. It's targeted to really anyone opposing set in power structures. We're talking government. We're talking businesses and monopolies. Okay, that's, you know very well about this. They've censored videos about people just talking freely about, first it was like stuff like, men and women just speaking freely about women and relationships. And then it was like, election integrity, mRNA injections, like it goes on, and the goalpost keeps moving. And so he put out this first video calling out, and he puts out some details on this contract he was offered by an unnamed company. And like I said, he's quite measured. He admits his own sidestepping of the issue, not wanting to name stuff. So in his video, he calls out this exploitative contract. It's like, exploitative contract. All right, buddy, cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks. He puts out the video, and Ben Shapiro, he responds, admitting that it's Daily Wire who gave him this contract. And then they go on with their response, right? Their response on the contract, on Crowder's video, really criticizing him for a couple of things. Some I agree, some I don't. But criticizing him for for complaining about a $50 million contract. So, in this contract, one particular part of it where Crowder was focusing on was how the contract specifically specifically wrote out penalties should Crowder, and this is a general contract that Daily Wire writes up for their creators, so it's not just Crowder. But this was in it, there is penalties on should you be censored by the big tech platforms. Your revenue, your income from Daily Wire would be specifically tied to whether or not you're banned, demonetized, or if there's a boycott against your content. And you wonder, it's like, there's something about that makes sense. To be fair, there's something about that makes sense. In a business standpoint, you have to agree that you're the boss of someone who's making money off social media, off their platforms, and they got to bring in the money. You have to make money. The businesses, that's how this works, okay? And should you mess up somehow your income from these streaming platforms, then they're telling you that we're not going to pay you as much because you're not making as much, okay? But you can agree with the business philosophy behind that and yet understand that still means that they are an arm of big tech. And what I mean by that is that if your income and revenue is beholden to that, then heck yes, you're going to have to censor yourself to keep it. So is it about the money? Is it about what's more important here? Okay. So let me just click some links here I have set up. Hold on. A little messy here. So, yes. And then Crowder responded again. Crowder responded after Ben Shapiro admitted that it was them and all that. And he made his own another response video. And it was quite interesting. In the response to Ben Shapiro, he makes it clear why he did it. And then he plays a little bit of a call he had with is it Jeremy Boring, the owner of the Daily Wire, I believe, something like that. Jeremy Boring, I believe, the owner of the Daily Wire. He had a business call with him, and the call is quite interesting. The call is quite interesting for a couple of reasons. So ultimately, here my measured part, the measured take about this, the measured part about this, is that the whole business side, I mean, they're right. You got to make money. And if you don't, we pay you less. And how are you making money? It's off these platforms. And in this video, in this call with Crowder, Jeremy Boring, says, he says to him, the benefits that you get from this. You get fame. You get money while you grow your name. He says it in a bit of a more colorful way. He calls it being a wage slave. You could be a wage slave for a while you grow your channel and all that. Let's see if I can get that here. He says it in a more colorful way, like I said.
They don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand. They can be wage slaves for a little bit. They can be wage slaves for a little bit.
So, you could be a wage slave for a little bit, but you'll grow your channel and all that. So, I mean, they're not wrong. That's the benefit you're getting. It's the same benefit you're getting from being on YouTube. See, I'm measured with what I see on YouTube because I understand that there's rules that I'm following, but I'm getting something out of it. There's a bigger audience and all this. But is it about the money? You could be measured and realize that those things are true, yet realize the motivation behind it. Because Crowder made it clear in the second video, and this is the part that's interesting, that it wasn't about the money. It's not how much he's getting paid. It's not how much he's losing should he get demonetized. It's the fact that Daily Wire, and he says that other conservative platforms offered him similar contracts, so it's not just Daily Wire. But he's saying that Daily Wire is going to do the work of YouTube for them and censor them. So imagine you're a creator who's trying to come up. You're trying to be the next Crowder. How can there be another Crowder? And this is something Crowder said. How can there be another Crowder if the bosses and the people up top, the conservative big con up top, is going to keep you in a little pen where you can say these things and you have to only say the pre-approved things that the big tech platforms are saying? Okay? It's just another arm of big tech, like he said. And that's hard. It's hard not to agree with that. It's hard not to agree with the simple, pure logic of that. What are you about? Are you about the legalistic little business like this is the contract though. This is the contract. This is what we agreed to. Or are you willing to make a little bit of less money or something for the sake of something greater? The country, free speech, okay? Because things are bad, okay? Things are pretty bad. They're getting worse. Like Jesse says, it's over. It's over. And it's because of stuff like this, really. So I love the fight that's going on. I love that things are coming out. I ultimately, I'm not like with Crowder. Like, I just ultimately support what he's doing. I think from what I could tell, it's a noble cause. And there's some nuance that I want to get into. But like I said, I ultimately agree with that. I mean, think about that. What are you about? What are you about? One point that was made, people are saying, well, Crowder was he doesn't know how to be. Ben Shapiro also said this in a response tweet. But Crowder has proven he doesn't know how to be a friend or he doesn't know how to do business. But that's not the only way you have to do business. Like I said, I am myself on YouTube. I follow the rules because I am getting something out of it. Right? I'm not partnered. I don't have some contract. I'm not shilling for anything. But I measure my speech because I'm growing my channel. Maybe one day I won't. Maybe one day I'll bring on the demonetization. Maybe you know what I mean? Everything in its proper time. But it's a relationship. It's a consensual relationship with YouTube, you know? Imagine going into their house and saying, you can't tell me what to say. It's evil. Their terms, their guidelines and community guidelines and terms of service is evil. But, hey, we're trying to take the sinner's views and use it for good, right? So like I said, they are evil. And I want to explain what I mean. Community guidelines and terms of service that are aimed to restrict speech of certain individuals. And these rules change arbitrarily, not for a good reason, okay, but for the express purpose to confuse and allow them, I mean YouTube, to give them the ability to continue censoring. They move the goalposts and all, so they can continue doing that. It's not for a good reason. Should they be changing? Just the fact that they're changing community guidance doesn't necessarily mean something bad. But you know what I'm saying. So YouTube is providing me a service, and I respect that. And it only goes so far, though. Doesn't mean you give up a country. And these arbitrary TOS changes for the express purpose of controlling speech and specific speech. Okay, so yeah, like I said, ultimately support him. Now, that's not to say that Crowder might not have other motivations. I mean, even in the video, he says, I want to start my own thing with like a network of young people. That's motive, right? I really don't want to get into, it's hard, right? Like, what's he really up to behind that? It could be motive, it could be not. So anyways, like I was saying here, is it about the money or is it about the right thing? Okay. And this is what I was getting at, because you don't have to do business the way they say. Okay, well, this is just how you do business. You're making money off these platforms, and should you make less, if you get censored, we got to pay you less. But what about building an alternative, like conservative platform? Just like being hamstrung by your own conservative boss in a contract that they give you, being hamstrung and being censored, on behalf of big tech, it doesn't seem like that's the only option. And so I think Crowder was right in calling out this big con, as he's calling it, this big con. Okay, that's not to say that because people are criticizing the way he did it, right? He put out the contract, and they're calling it a breach of friendship, and it's exploitative, right? That he basically what's it called? Blackmailed Daily Wire by putting out that contract and forcing them to respond and doing all this. So you can have those criticisms, okay? You can have that. That's fine. You can also have the criticism that, well, Crowder, he'll put content behind a paywall. He'll say what he wants on YouTube, and then when it's something that he can't say on YouTube, he'll put it behind a paywall instead of saying it on YouTube. So people are criticizing him for that because Daily Wire does the same thing. They put stuff behind a paywall that they can't say on YouTube. So does that make Crowder a shill for YouTube not saying the truth? I mean, you can have these criticisms, but I think it's all smokescreen. I think it's all really a smokescreen from just how I think it looks really bad on Daily Wire. It's a smokescreen, and it's like they didn't want this to be released. They didn't want this contract to be shown, and this is a nice way of diverting attention to that, diverting attention from that. You follow me? So, and then they went nasty too. I saw Candace Owens making some talking about basically gossip, right? Because I don't know what happened. Basically gossip about Crowder and the way he's dealt with his employees and all that. I just don't think what she brought up, there was some employee he had, I believe he was called Not Gay Jared or something, making him sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, things you can't say should you leave the company, saying that's similar tactics. I don't know. It's just all obfuscation from the point of what is this contract about? What is Daily Wire about? And what is conservatism about? What are we about? Are we here to preserve the values of free speech, the values of the country? And who's doing that? And are you doing that by way of this contract, by way of not allowing your creators that kind of freedom? Because think about it. Think about the rhinos. Think about the current the GOP, the current Republican Party of America. What do they do but just say what's allowed and then agree with the Democrats on what's not allowed to say? You're not allowed to say that. Don't be saying that about women, gays, whatever. Look, the point is, Democrats, liberals, they frame the whole conversation. They frame what's allowed, and conservatives stay there. And they duke it out in their little game, but it's all framed by our enemies, okay? And to me, when a contract by a conservative company that says, hey, should you be censored by these big tech platforms? Well, we'll penalize you for the same thing. In the same way, really. What does that say to you as a creator? That says, okay, well, there's certain things I can't say. There's certain things I'm not allowed to talk about. And some people might think Crowder is super weak and this is emotional and does, on racism, for example. He calls people white supremacists and stuff. Pretty lame. But I mean, he's pretty like I've seen some of his stuff, and he's talking about mRNA injections, election integrity, like, and pretty measured and pretty based at points, might I say. So, all this to say, sorry, smack the mic there. All this to say, what is conservatism about, right? And who's on our side? Because, like I just said about the GOP, it's like the same thing over and over again, and nothing gets done, nothing gets fixed. It just keeps. It's just a slow roll into the liberal and Democrat framing. What was crazy 5 years ago is normal today. 5 years ago, conservatives like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, and that's just normal now. Okay, people are like 5 years ago, like trannies, what, transgender, what the, and that's just like getting crazier and crazier every day. It's pretty wild. So is it about business or something deeper? I mean, I really appreciate what Crowder did. I think it's bringing up a good conversation that needs to be had in like the mainstream. So yes, Daily Wire right about their contract. They're right about the business. They're even right about some of their criticisms. But ultimately, like, what are they ultimately about? Okay, and free speech has been just gone in this country. Just checking on the plane here. Got a little scared there. Still flying to Switzerland. So yeah, that's not really a little messy there. Apologies on my notes, but that's really it. Ultimately, there's ways around it. There's ways around this, and people even turn to like Jesse. Do people turn to Jesse? I'm a Jesse Lee Peterson. Obviously, you guys know. But for those that don't, I'm on his network, and they call him a shill, for example, for not talking about certain things. For not, hey, you should say the truth about vaccines, Jesse. Are you a vax shill? And on that, it's like, you can't just go into like conspiratorial mind and assuming. Everything in its like right time and place. Like Jesse's not about that. Jesse's about helping people, about saying the truth about anger and all that. So you got to understand that too. Like I imagine Jesse's show, it should be like one of those number stations. You know those like war, what am I talking about? Like those wartime number stations, these radio channels set up by the military that just repeat the same set of numbers over and over again and just broadcast it out. It's encrypted only meant for a specific, only meant for those meant to receive it. So it wouldn't be encrypted. No, in fact, Jesse's show is encrypted still. It's only meant for those who can receive it. And it should just be on repeat, just the same number station, the same JLP station. Anger is evil. That should just be Jesse, right? He's not about going out there and saying the truth about the vax. You know what I mean? So there's a time, there's in this conversation on censorship and big tech and what we're talking about here, there's things to be measured about, and there's things that are just definite. I think we need to be like I was saying earlier, not all about confirmation bias, but being just about reality, okay? People will say that. I've seen that said about me. Hey, look, I'm trying to get my come up here. I'm trying to move it, and by that I mean like grow the channel, grow what I can grow while I can. And for that, I need to respect YouTube, respect their home, their boundaries, and their rules, really, as evil as they may be. Okay, what else did I have to say about this? A little messy here, my apologies, but hopefully you're understanding me. Talking about So check this out. Now, Susan Wojcicki, you may know, what's her name? Susan Wojcicki. You may know about her. She is the YouTube CEO. Let me pull it up. And I wanted to show you this because I happened upon this clip where Susan Wojcicki, I wish I knew to say that, the CEO of YouTube is in conversation at this forum, at this tech forum. We're going to be talking about another particular forum in a minute here. But she's at this meeting, whatever this is. It's called the Lesbians Who Tech. As you're seeing on the screen, Lesbians Who Tech, some kind of conference. Bad research. Lesbians Who Tech. It's a summit. Oh, wow. That's cute. A summit. Lesbians Who Tech and Allies. It's a summit. Wow. Just reading the about here. It's a Lesbian Who Tech and Allies is a community of LGBTQ women, non-binary, and trans individuals in and around tech, okay? And this woman here, Kara Swisher on the left, is talking to Susan Wojcicki, right? And they end up talking a little bit about censorship, and they bring up Ben Shapiro. They bring up our buddy Ben Shapiro here. And I just thought it was just a little bit interesting for a number of reasons. I want to show you the leaders. I want to show you the ones in charge, okay? The ones, the spirit and the people, the ones behind the censorship, the kind of ideas and mindset and ways and behavior and ways of speaking that these censorship people, the way they are, okay? And so I want to show you a little bit of this. Because it's a club, okay? It's a club and you're not in it. It's a club and you're not in it. Anybody out of the club is persona non grata. Don't speak about them. So.
It's like, well, Ben Shapiro.
And this woman on the left, Kara Swisher, married to a woman, so it's not really married, and has a son. What, didn't we just learn that we can't give gays kids? You guys hear about that crazy story? Apparently, it's two males, gay couple, were adopted a boy who they like totally. I was gonna avoid saying that for YouTube, but no, they totally raped this boy. They put him and they pimped him out to other gays on like Grindr or some crap like that. I don't have the full stories, but you may have heard of this, okay? Didn't we just learn you can't give gays kids? So anyways, this lesbian on the left has a son. And they're talking about Ben Shapiro.
Shapiro's sort of smart. I'm like,
oh, let me turn this up. Why is this so low? Why is my volume so low? Let's see here. I'm going to have to use the little Boost. The Boost app. The Boost plugin.
no, he's not. No, he's not.
There you go. My apologies. Check it out.
Even slightly.
So her son. She's talking about her son.
It's a good joke, but it is. I'm sort of like, and then I've got like this kid who's like, well, Ben Shapiro's sort of smart. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not even slightly. He's clever, but he's an idiot. And anyway, it's just like, it's exhausting. But it has like a huge effect on them. Do you feel like the people, like, on a bigger thing, and it's not your total responsibility, Susan, but do you feel like the people still behind have a sense of this, of the impact they have, and are capable of dealing with it, or will regulatory measures just have to come into place? Because it's already starting in Europe, it's starting in California here with privacy bills. Do you feel like you're all able to do that?
We have already made a huge difference, and we will continue. And that will have a big impact in how our platforms work. And we actually use this analogy of a city too, where we feel that we were, initially started as a smaller city and people kind of all knew each other on the internet, right? And then very quickly we grew to this major metropolitan city. And our goal is, we've really ramped up. Google has committed to having 10,000 people committed to dealing with controversial content, which we staffed last year. And we have tightened our guidelines. We have made very significant changes in how we handle our policies, like the recommendations. So getting to your son.
He's lost.
No, we can work on your son here. I have a son too, and I get some of these discussions also at the dinner table. I mean, so it's I think what you're describing is, and the way we think about it too, look, there's a set of content that has to meet the community guidelines. Ben Shapiro is going to meet the community guidelines. So I don't think you're suggesting that we remove him from the platform, are you?
I would, but I can't. No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
But you,
Ben Shapiro is going to follow the community guidelines. She knows this. Ben Shapiro, we're not gonna ban him. We can't. He's gonna follow the community guidelines. The community guidelines that are arbitrary, that change, that the same things that people were banned for yesterday, they're not banned today. You know what I mean? Pick and choose. Are you talking about that? It's so weird. It's so weird how everyone's getting banned, but here's Susan Wojcicki on a stage, saying he's not going to get banned. He's going to follow community guidelines. It's a big club, okay? It's a big club, okay? And so I just found that interesting. I mean, sorry, here, my notes. You're following me here? It's just a great topic what's come up. I think it's quite important. I think it'll bring about some good conversations because things have to change ultimately. Things have to change. We can't keep going like this. Okay, we are flying over the Swiss Alps. It's quite cold out here. Let me show you the scene as we get into our next story here. Great stuff. Swiss Alps, Davos Congress Center is somewhere in these mountains, and we will be coming in and having a good old chat with these WEF types. Okay. And so what I'm talking about is the World Economic Forum. That's WEF. And I'll get into that shortly here. I should catch up with the chat here. What's everybody saying? What's going on? I think I do have a first-class super chat here. People clamoring to get in on first class, take their seat. Hold on here. Someone get these people their bottomless drinkies and snackies. I got oh wow. Is that Kade? Thank you so much. Says, congrats on the new show. JLP has been on fire lately. You know it. JLP, Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm on his network. The man has been on fire for 32 years. Bears one, man. Come on down. First class is all yours. Jabrail says, contrasts like that are the wires of Pinocchio. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like you can say all you want. It's good business practice. It's just like it's just business. You gotta make money. You gotta lose money to make money. No, you gotta make us money, man. You gotta make us money, Crowder. Dance. But what are the rules they're imposing? What do you gotta dance to? Well, you gotta dance to YouTube's tune. And we're gonna get you if you don't. Lord Bibby says, Crowder has nearly 6 million subs on YouTube. Tim Pool has less than 2 and runs his podcast company. Crowder needs to run his company and alpha up. Steve is the platform. Yeah. What do you mean, Lord Bibby? Are you saying like Tim Pool has less than 2 and runs his podcast? Like he runs it by himself. Like he's not beholden to any contracts. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I mean, I believe Crowder has been since leaving the Blaze running it on his own. Triple T, we're flying to the Davos Congress Center in Switzerland. We left Brussels, Belgium. But yeah, he did leave the Blaze recently, and I think he's been running it by himself since. And that was a good point he made, I thought. It's like there's ways around it. You don't have to censor. You don't have to, you could put content on Rumble. You can like go around it and not give your content creators that you're giving contracts to and hamstring them. Like you could work with them, like for the sake of free speech, for the sake of sticking it to these big tech companies, because I don't know if things are going to change unless these giant social media platforms are dealt with and like for real. Isn't Apple like the biggest company in the world? Like I could be wrong about that, but that's a lot of money with these companies, okay? And they control a lot, okay? We're talking elections. We're talking serious, important information for people, okay? We're talking blatant censorship of conservative voices, of opposition forces. We're talking big tech in bed with the government. We've seen that with the Twitter files and all that. The FBI. And I have a little clip on that. It's a good segue into this World Economic Forum stuff. the FBI, intelligence agencies of the government, working with private companies to undermine the First Amendment and beyond. Okay? Crowder has been backed by the companies. Crowder needs to do it solely on his own. Yeah. And there's plenty of criticism of Crowder. You can have criticisms for Crowder as well. It's really the heart of what's going on here, the conversation that's been brought up. Because Crowder's not really like he probably has his own motivations. He might have his own motivations on starting his own network, like he said, and other things. I mean, there's some word, Ben Shapiro put out like a timeline or something, which is supposed to make him look bad. I didn't go through it. It maybe does make him look bad, Crowder, I mean. It maybe does show, ulterior motives for Crowder. But the point here is the point here is the conversation in the heart of it that was brought up, okay? Because we got enemies in the Republican Party, people who call themselves conservative. And are you able to suss them out? Are you able to see them for what they are when they show themselves? Yeah, FBI, CIA, same thing. Let's be real. So like I said, FBI, check this clip out. Do I still have it? I really hope I have it. They're basically gloating about it now, okay? Basically just gloating about big tech. Check it out. Big tech and big companies working hand in hand, collaborating, private sector, government sector, collaborating against the American public. This is FBI Director Christopher Wray at that World Economic Forum meeting. Check it. And my volume's all messed up. I might have to use the boost.
And I think
Ooh, sorry. That might be too loud. Okay, check it.
And I think the sophistication of the private sector is improving, and particularly important, the level of collaboration between the private sector and the government, especially the FBI, has, I think, made significant strides. Pretty much every technology we could talk about today, we see both great opportunity but great dangers in the wrong hands. And I think
great opportunity, says, loving it. The private sector in hand in hand. You just heard Christopher Wray, director of the FBI. The level of collaboration between the private sector and the government. Significant strides. And they are in the wrong hands. Based America First, thank you. They're gloating about it, okay? And the sad part is just how many of our neighbors would go along with this. They'd say they should. They would say they should because they believe in the lie of racism and white supremacy, that we have terrorists and domestic terrorists spreading racism that leads to violence, online and all that. So we need this. And this is beyond a safety, okay? This is beyond the FBI looking through persons of interest who are going to commit terrorism. It's like, don't you want that, Nick? Don't you want them to do that? No. It's been shown that it's way beyond that, okay? We're talking about censorship of stories that would affect politics, elections, stuff like that, okay? We're talking the laptop, okay? I mean, how much has that been harped on? Hunter's laptop, okay? The weaponization of big tech. So it's a good segue into this next topic here. And you can call in 760-515-3855. You can jump in anytime. Wanted to first make sure I caught up on chat here. A couple things people said that were interesting. Yeah, Get a Job does have a new video. You do want to check it out. Get a Job is amazing. Brought a lot of viewers to Jesse Lee Peterson's show. So you do want to see that. Actually, it's all a stage. I think Based America First said that too. How do you not know it's all theater? I don't. It could very well be. I mean, man, it's all theater, okay? It's all a big joke at this point. And it's a combination of stupidity, a lot of stupidity, and just idiots, useful idiots, And then greed and, actual, like, maybe like conscious act of evil. Like, let me subjugate these people. nickstream, have you heard of Frank Church? He spoke of this in 1975. Oh, nice. I might have to check him out. Thanks, Andrew Simpson. So, crazy. We just saw the FBI director and all that. And we are on our way to Davos here. In fact, might be quite close. Davos Congress Center has held the World Economic Forum meeting annually since, I believe, the 70s. They might have changed it a couple of years in different areas, but it's been a lot of World Economic Forum meetings there. And what is, it's like, just to be clear on what the World Economic Forum is, it's a meeting. It's a meeting. It's really not about the World Economic Forum more so than it is about who's attending and what are they talking about. And this year's theme is basically climate change and making the world, like, transitioning economies to green economies and all that. And it's like, sure, you can have these weirdos talk about that, but when you have heads of state, you have American representatives from Congress showing up, Christopher Wray, when you got Biden's, the energy envoy or whatever they call him, the energy envoy from the current Biden administration showing up and talking mess. Well, you have to start to wonder why do they get to set the agenda? What big club are they in? Why are they all in this big club that we didn't choose? And why do they get to set the agenda? You know what I mean? So, a couple of things there. And so you may have seen clips coming out of this Davos conference or whatever over this past week, started on Monday. You may have seen plenty of stuff come out of there. Some pretty just wild stuff that no public is agreeing with. Okay? Now, you may have seen that, but I think one angle that I really liked that we did, that Jessie hit on, and I produced that segment. Just saying, okay, just saying. Produced that segment, so I said it too. Technically, I said it too. That an angle on this story is the increase of women more than ever before. Like Davos, the World Economic Forum loves to talk about the gender diversity, and I looked it up. And there's more women than ever at the Davos conference, and it's been increasing every year. Okay, more than ever before. And so this article says still not enough. But what does that mean? What does that mean? More women at the World Economic Forum. What does that mean? Well, it means more women are heads of state. More women are leaders and CEOs, private companies, and government than ever before. And what do we have at the World Economic Forum and beyond more than ever before? What we've been talking about: censorship, feeling the feel-bad attitude that supports all the wrong things in the world, that's eroding us. Okay, like feeling bad for the homeless, feeling bad for minorities. Okay, and ultimately destroying the souls of those people who they feel bad for, because nothing good comes from capitulating and giving to those that don't deserve. Okay, giving to those that haven't earned or deserved or whatever. So that's what's going on there, more women than ever. We saw Christopher Wray. What else? I had something else here from the World Economic Forum. Where was it? And it's all women. We played like 4 clips on the JLP show showing you what the women controlling it, just pushing the message. Oh well, that's pretty much that on the World Economic Forum. I don't have any more clips, but hopefully you're following me here, okay? Hopefully you're following me on the whole thing we've been talking about since the show started. Right? Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We're going to get to some more stuff here. We got some more relaxed stuff. We'll see if we could take some calls. We'll be getting close to Davos very soon, so it might be a little bit of a shorter show. And like I said, you can call in 760-515-3855. What we'll do here is we got some fun stuff I want to get to. Nick, have you discussed your plans for your daily show? Okay, I've mentioned it briefly. You know, once I free up from producing Jesse's show and I'll have more time to focus on the channel, I want to go daily. And, you know, hopefully the content will come, figure it out. I'll learn and grow as I go. I want to come on after James. And we're setting up the studio, so we're also limited by manpower. You may have seen Hassan. Hassan runs the board for Jesse and James. And it's a bit of an interesting set. Well, it's not the way it's set up in the studios. You kind of need a guy behind the board operator to play your clips, play your music, and kind of give your. I could sit in front of a camera and just talk, but I kind of like the style. You gotta give the show a little bit of style in my own thing. So I want to come on after James. Hopefully 11, maybe noon. I want to do at least like an hour of just talking, taking calls, and really getting through. Just really getting through my thoughts on life as I see it, politics, and whatever topics, in a thorough way. But then Fridays we're still Nick streaming, okay? And of course maybe some more stuff. I want with more time. I want to bring more stuff to the show. I got a giveaway coming up. Just things, things. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. And hopefully informative, and at times, hopefully maybe even you'll learn maybe even a little something, maybe. And myself too. I'm learning too. And so we'll still Nick stream on Fridays. We'll do the flight. Hopefully it's like Nick stream extravaganza. We're talking multiple hours, doing our thing, flying calls, fun, the whole shebang. Where we still fly on Fridays. And I want to do like Saturday stream, like other streams. You may have seen some of the like gaming content where it's really relaxed. I got some really good advice. Friday night glizzy VR streams. Hey, we get down in VR. I'm a hot dog. Okay. So we're going to make it happen here on Nick's stream. It's going to be great. And I do appreciate you all supporting, right? So yeah, and I want to do these like long streams. I noticed why people do these like 6-8 hour streams. It's because it's like a big vacuum. Okay, you suck up all the people that would have missed your show, and you put them on, and I think they're more likely to tune in, and then I put out clips. I'll be able to put out clips too with more time. So that's kind of the plan for the channels right now. We'll see what happens though, right? Here's what we're gonna do. Gonna change the vibe a little bit. We're gonna get into a couple fun things here I wanted to get into. Super serious topics are out. And your calls, of course. But we're gonna change the vibe up here and take a little breaky poo. Like I said, make sure the plane is good. I'll be honest, plane's a little off kilter, okay? I'm gonna get it back in line where we're supposed to be. Because I am still piloting your plane. I am still your captain, the anchor baby. So please, I will be back. So please bear with me. Appreciate it. enjoying the stream here. nickstream, thank you, thank you. Currently flying over the Swiss Alps. As you can see, if you look outside your window, you will see that we have begun our descent into the 𝒂𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. No, I'm joking. Right into the 𝒂𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 Congress Center. Hopefully we can catch them before they leave. Yes. Camera on, chat on. There it is. So yeah, you guys ever looked up autism on Wikipedia? You ever gone on the Wikipedia page for autism? Because there's a couple pictures here of an autistic boy. And here's the image they use for the autistic boy, okay? They use that he stacks. He's obsessively stacking things. That boy's autistic. Give him drugs. All the time, says Ivana Spencer. Yeah, that's the autistic boy they use. Look at this autistic boy in this image, lining up all his toys. Someone give him drugs. Someone give that boy. Someone pump that boy full of amphetamines, because that boy is organizing things. You know what I mean? It's a big joke, you know. I'm messing around here, but you know, autism, all these things. I don't know. It's like they love calling. They call boys that a lot. Okay, they're disproportionately diagnosed. And a boy here, this little builder is an autist, basically. What a psycho. But anyways, so I want to get some kind of more fun stuff here. Got a couple of funny things here, and before we land at the Davos Congress Center, there's no runway there. Let me make sure we are descending. We are descending now. We don't want to descend too much because we're going to be close to these. We're already shaking. Air's funny up here. Air's funny when you're near mountains, okay? Everybody knows it's quite dangerous flying near the mountains. So we've begun our descent now. And Big Pharma don't love your kids. Stop giving them drugs. Yep. Okay. Why are we shaking, though? It feels like we have, like, flaps up or something. That's not good. Flaps up. All the way up. We're shaking a lot. Oh, it's because we're going too fast. Going too fast. Airspeed way too high for this altitude. This altitude. Okay. So check this out. Where are you at? Where are my links? We've been doing some like, funny sports, like into weird, wild sports on the show. Covered a couple of those. We are shaking a lot. Calm down, plane. We're fine. Everybody relax, okay? It's just a little bit of turbulence, all right? Put your drinks in the little cup holder and relax, okay? Because everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's just a little bit of turbulence. No turbulence has ever shaken a plane out the sky, right? So, we covered some funny sports, and I learned about a new one. Learned about another interesting one here. Who knows anything about diving, okay? I bought a parachute this time. The guy Dollar Tree said it's just shower curtain liner, but I know what I'm doing. Right on, Ivana Spencer. You might have a what's it called? A parachute underneath your chair, but it might not be there. nickstream, sometimes Spirit Airlines, costs a little bit extra for your parachute. If you didn't buy one coming in, you might be out of luck. So, like I said, we covered extreme knife fighting. We covered some wild diving sports. Well, this one is got some history to it. You ever seen a horse dive? You ever seen horse diving? Horse diving. Whoa, that might have been loud. Yes, horse diving. (1920s). Yeah. So they're doing it's like, I guess it's a more of an attraction. Oh, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. Thanks for always supporting me on Twitch. I forgot to turn on Twitch. Twitch stream. Yo, that's what that soundtrack was. Stranger Things. Okay, good to know. So, just a little funny thing here I found. Little bit of history. A wild attraction for the daring rider. I mean, these are big animals. Look, I'm sorry, it's just amazing to see. And here on nickstream, I just want to show you amazing things. Pretty credible. Here on this odd sports segment. What do we got here? Some classic footage. Look at this. Atlantic City?
Check this out. So it's the late 1890s, and George Holloway rents out horses as a liveryman.
Whoa. Where's that audio coming from? There. Pretty silly. Look at this. Wait, is this? Where is this? She's got like a babushka thing on. Is this America? It says Atlantic City. Where's that? Got some circus going on. Look at that. No fat people. Although those were the performers, right? They're supposed to be fit. Some circus action. And where is the horse diving? Oh, here we go. New Jersey, Atlantic City. Check it out. I mean, how do you teach a horse to do that? Like, just... I mean, I guess you could train an animal to do anything, huh? Big old animal just diving. I just find it amazing. Anyways, on this topic of odd history with sports, getting pretty close to the mountains there. If you're watching the stream, you just might have seen the plane getting real close to the mountains. No, everybody relax. Nothing to fear. But anyways, on this, you may have seen some of this. I heard some of you talking about some pay-per-view fight for tomorrow. Well, there's a new kind of competition in town. And I covered a little bit of this when the Russians were doing it, okay? It was slap fighting, okay? You seen this? We remember when we covered that? It was like Russian slap fighting, and it's just slap for slap, and I guess whoever gives up first. Well, Dana White, what is he? The owner, creator, or whatever of the UFC, widely popular. Well, he learned from that slap he had with his wife recently. You guys saw that, where he got into an altercation with his wife, and it got a little spicy. My apologies. It got a little spicy, right? And she slapped him, and he slapped her back. So, just making sure the plane's good here. Okay, and we are fine. We're flying fine. A little bit of a spicy flight right now. So I want to show you this. Dana White, I believe, has started what it's called slap. American slap competition. Pretty gnarly footage. Pretty gnarly stuff.
2.
Knockout. I saw that one too, Mr. Mad. Romanian dude with his whole half of his face swollen. Look at that knockout. Like, if you like knockouts, you're going to want to watch this. Got the ladies. This is the lightweight competition. Look, rocked, just rocked. So Dana White learned about slapping with his little altercation with his wife. He's like, this has to be on TV, okay? Slap. What was it called? Swollen head guy apparently won. I'll see if I can find that. It was kind of a gnarly clip. I don't know if I want to show that one. Power slap. absolute animals. Check this out. Look at that. Just ate that. LMAO, why are men like this? Is this degenerate? These are consenting adults. Do you have to be athletically fit for this? Like,
Southbridge, Massachusetts. I came to up.
Like, what are the rules? I want to know.
I'm just here to do what I do best, and that's put on a show for the people.
Why are you
This is pretty degen, not gonna lie.
so good at what?
Ask God that.
Look at that impact right there.
What I want, baby. You gonna remember my name.
Like, you know, it's like you got boxing, okay? You got boxing, a real discipline. UFC, people, absolute athletes, really, Nick finna switch careers. Real disciplined athletes, really perfecting their craft to become champions. And then you got power slap. Okay? I mean, look, I'd be a liar if I didn't say I was here for this. I'd be a liar if I didn't say I'm here for it. Watch a little bit more of this.
All right, buddy, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. The power is on.
God damn. Holy fucking shit.
They got like training devices and everything. Look, this is becoming a whole deal. You're gonna have coaches. What? You're gonna have coaches and like brands. Who's the Conor McGregor of this? That's what I want to know.
Oh my God.
Look at this belt.
Looking at me? You're a disrespectful little shit, bro.
Wait. So is this like UFC? Like, didn't they have this like UFC house where it's like a they're like about to kiss in here. Didn't they have like a UFC like competition where they were in a house and they all like they get into fights and all that, but it's also like reality TV. But this is just people slapping each other.
Go for it.
Talk shit like that, cause
Is that guy wearing lipstick? What's going on?
The beautiful thing.
Like at least it was fighters. At least it was like people like with a discipline in like, you know, mixed martial arts or whatever.
About this thing is, you get to slap the shit out of all the people you don't like.
Like, how serious can it be? Like, is it just fight rejects? Like, it doesn't. There's got to be some skill, right? Like, I was surprised to learn all the skill required in like arm wrestling competitions. Okay, there's tricks and skills. Okay, so don't talk mess. Don't talk mess. This is serious. This is super serious. This is super serious. Sounds like anger. So yeah, that's a little bit on odd sports, odd history. Little funny thing there. Now, I have to say we're getting quite close. I need to turn this thing around. Okay. All right, y'all. Like I said, we're quite close. And so let's say hi. Let's turn off the autopilot real quick here. Do a little bit of manual flying. Because we're going to say hello to some people. Okay. So bear with me as we come in for a landing, really. Hope you've been enjoying Nick's stream lately. And today. Hope your Friday's going well. Because we're coming in for a landing. Okay, let me turn auto throttle on. We are fully manual. The plane is in your captain's hands. And in that little ridge below us, as you can see on the MFD in the center. Oh no, it's beyond this little mountain line. It lies the Davos Congress Center. Thanks for sharing, Nick. Just a little fun stuff after the super serious topics. So, like I said, I hope you've been enjoying Nick's stream. We are coming in for our landing. somewhere in these mountains, there is a large group of people, the leaders of the world, who want to tell us how to live. They're setting the agenda for all of us. Who chose this? Oh no, I need flight directors on. Where is it? Oh, there it is. There it is. Just checking the map there. Self-appointed leaders. Well said. Well said. So like I said, I will be getting into our daily streams. I can't wait. And really focus on the channel. Doing a little low flying here in the mountains. Because, like I said, I'm excited. And I've been very appreciative of all your support. Noah's Arkansas, thank you. I don't know if you were already sitting in first class, but please, sir, take your seat in first class. It's all you. Beyond this mountain line is the Davos Congress Center. I hope Microsoft Flight Simulator, they do model a lot of buildings, but I don't know if they modeled this one. It doesn't look like a lot of roads and building models down there. I know they have monuments and all that, but when Nick attends Davos, there will be slapping. You know it. So, hope you've enjoyed today's Nick stream. Bit of a short one. Not many topics. I'm thinking of maybe doing a little chill stream tomorrow, maybe. What do y'all say? Will you join me tomorrow morning? Okay, getting real close. Now, is it this mountain line or the next one? Because the plane is telling me landing gear. Here, I'll turn on the sounds. But where's the runway? Pimp's only slapping competition. We're just going to do a little flying as we land here, so hope your Friday's going well. Okay. Getting close. Do what? Do what, Lord Baby? Shall we, Oh, I see what you're saying. Do it. Yeah, maybe we could chill stream tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But, let's see if we can talk to these people. Let's see if we can bring some sense to these, World Economic Forum types. I believe it's this ridge right here. Or is it the next one? Beautiful virtual Swiss Alps. Jealous of that snow. Thank you, Broski Bear. Appreciate you tuning in. Ain't no landing gear on this one, buddy. I hope you brought your parachutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I believe I see our destination out. We'll be slowing down. No Glizza? I don't think so. Not today. No Glizza stream. Alright, y'all. It's been a slice. We're about to go have a conversation with these people. See if we can, see if we can bring talk some sense into these people. You might want to refund your first class tickets. I do apologize. You might want to jump out the plane soon. Davos Congress Center. Here we go. Where's the runway, Nick? Well, I believe. Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Relax. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. The plane's intact. Where the heck is the runway? Well, the map says we're at the Davos Congress Center. Now, there's no building modeled. It's supposed to be this big old building here. We're supposed to be in it. We're just talking some sense with tons of metal. Tons of metal right into the building. Okay? Talk some sense into these people. and save the world while we're at it, right? Fake news. No, we crashed into it. Just a flesh wound. Like a... Let me turn this up. Okay, y'all. Davos, no crickets for me. I'm eating steak now, says of Jenny Crosby. Thank you so much for the support. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. It was a kamikaze attack. Well, I did get, what is it? How many souls on board? 86 souls on board gone, but hey, it was a sacrifice. It was a sacrifice for the world, okay? 86 souls on board, 3,500 souls that we just 9/11'd. Virtually, we just 9/11'd the Davos Congress Center. In Minecraft, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, okay? Relax, FBI. Okay? I know you're watching. I know you didn't like what I said about y'all. It must have been a bunch of Allahu Akbar people. We're gonna have to replace Sion. Don't worry, we all have. Before you got on to the plane, you may have noticed you spat into a test tube. Don't worry, we sent that off to Ancestry.com. You will get. We sent off your DNA to Ancestry.com for 2 reasons. 1, so that you can find out, your ancestry, and 2, so that we can clone you. Yes, we all people on Nickstream right now currently have had their DNA cloned. Don't worry, there'll be another Sion. We're growing another Sion in the clone tank, okay? It was a necessary sacrifice for the greater good. Thank you, Big Bump. I do appreciate all your sacrifices today. Hopefully, we made some change in the world, but most likely not, as evil finds a way, because it's not the people, it's the spirit, the heart, and all that. Evil will find a new head. Chop off one, another one grows. But hopefully we did some good in the virtual world with your sacrifice. It's much appreciated. Well. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hold on here. My apologies. I have fun doing these Nick streams. I do appreciate you all being with me. We'll be doing more. As always, 5 days coming up. We Nick stream Fridays. We do our thing. I hope you enjoyed Nick stream today. A little bit of a short one, but I'll be back. You guys are real funny on chat. Love it. Thank you so much for the support. Really, truly. Let me sure I don't miss any super chats here. Noah's Ark, Kansas. Lord Spike Protein says, I agree, Nick. The show must grow. Your support is deeply appreciated. And all of you, really. So yeah, thank you, and share and like the stream. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a like. It helps. I'm not on Cozy Cold. Hopefully, eventually. Maybe we do some VR tomorrow. I'll update you in the community tab. Hope you enjoyed Nick Street today. Well, how many more times can I say that? I enjoyed it. I hope you all did. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Don't go totally asleep. Yeah, I did that a lot. Like, the weekend comes and I don't know, you kind of go a little bit unaware. Don't do that. Stay aware, because we got church on Sunday, as you know. Jesse Lee Peterson, rebuildingtheman.com/church. Thank you, Broski Bear. Roscoe Jones, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you found that funny, Ross? Thank you. I'm glad. I appreciate it. Good stuff. It's the freaking weekend. Enjoy it. Catch you on the next Nick stream. Follow and subscribe for any updates should I do any surprise streaming. Always a pleasure. Take care.